Good morning, students, and welcome back to our online e-learning session initiated by Shri Gyan Manjari Vidyapit. Heartily welcome to you all, and I wish that you all are in good health and doing good at your home. You all are having a wonderful health. So, I think and I am having that confidence that you all are following the schedule that what we have provided from this school, at least for 5 to 6 hours. After this online lectures, you must study, as we are very close for our class 10th reopening and the study part. Dear students, today the interesting and the important chapter of our history, that is chapter number 7, Post-Independence India. That's what we will going to discuss. One of the wonderful topic, the points what we will going to discuss further, this topic and this chapter is a wonderful history, that what we will going to talk. If you remember, in class 6th as history, we started as a different topic, what in social science what we have started. First we talk about the ancient India. In that we talk about Gupta era, Mauryan era, Mughal Empire, number of different dynasties like the Delhi Sultanate and so on. In class 7th, we started with arrival of the foreigners. Different foreigners, they came to our country. Why they came to our country? As India was prosperous country. The science, the maths, the knowledge which is known in today's world, we know that the root and the origin, it is in our country, in our India. So, number of foreigners, they came for the different purpose in our country. They reside in this country. We, our country, we accept them wholeheartedly. When the Britisher came to our country as trader, remember, they came to our country as a trader. Then they saw that we do not have unity among ourselves, and then they started to rule on us. So this is the history what we know. After long battle, long fight of 190 years. See, it's a long stretch. As in 1757, with the Battle of Plassey, Britisher got real power on our country. In real sense, they started their rule on us. 1757 to 1857 and 1857 to 1947. So it's a perfectly 190 years long. They have the stretch when they rule on us. Number of people, number of leaders, number of citizens from our country who sacrifice their life for independence of country. They give their life, the extreme and the supreme sacrifice what they give. So in this chapter, we have to actually talk on the post-independence India. Post means after independence. When we got independence on 15th August 1947, the scenario was absolute, like that number of problems was there in our society. Thousands of problems was there with the government, how to solve it, how to resolve it. So, what was the scenario in 1947? What type of the questions that has to be solved? The country where we are living right now, we think it's a beautiful, it's a vast country with a diversity. We never think also number of questions which arose during that time. So in this chapter, we will going to talk about important things, the political scenario, even the formation of the linguistic and the states, and that number of points like the regional inequalities and the regionalisms, and number of the problem like the communalism, and that what we will going to talk in this chapter. One of the, as I said, one of the wonderful topic, now what we are going to talk now. So pay your attention, as this is not only the informative, but for your further future also, this knowledge, this information is as important like anything. Here we will going to talk about two important, and you must have the knowledge about the two important dignitaries. Especially we will going to talk about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, first Home Minister, Iron Man of the world, Iron Man of the India, and as we all are Bhavnagaris, so it's a proud moment and the proud for all Bhavnagaris that here we will going to discuss, we will going to talk about Maharaja Krishna Kumar Ji, the sacrifice who gave for our country, the important and interesting fact what we will going to start. Before I start this, have a look on the board, the thought what I have written. Waking up in India is like waking up to life itself. We must very much proud that we are Indian. We are blessed that we born in this country. The country we consider as a Vishwaguru. Na bhuto na bhavishyati. So, waking up in India is like waking up to life itself. So, always have proud that we are Indian, you are Indian, I am an Indian. So, with that positive thought and this message, let's start this chapter, a discussion. So, as we are talking about the post-independence India, we got independence on 15th of August 1947. So the article for Indian independence was passed in the British Parliament till it was a British Parliament. So the article for India's independence was passed in the British Parliament in the year 1947. So this line must be underlined in your material. If you are having your material right now, please underline. If you are having your textbook, please mention it very properly that the article for your Indian independence was passed in the British Parliament, not in an Indian Parliament. This is for the true or false, fill in the blanks. According to the article, India and Pakistan got it existent. Like we got independence on 15th of August and Pakistan got its independence on 14th of August. The year is same. So there were two major problems before the country. Now fine day, it's decided that we will get independence. Pakistan will have its own existence. India will become the democratic country. So two major problems what we face, the leader of that time who faced it. So the framing the Constitution of India. Now, here you know, and we are using the word Constitution. What word we are using right now? It's a Constitution. So can anyone tell me what is Constitution? Can anyone tell me what is Constitution? What is Constitution? So this was the first question what arose at that time. Framing of Constitution. So as we all know, Constitution is a book of law. We have learned this perfect particular definition in class 8 as well as in class 9th also. That Constitution, what we understand with the Constitution? Constitution is a framing how to we want to govern. So Constitution means what? Any systematic collection of rules designed to governs the country. Yes. So what is a constitution? So first question what arose of that time was the framing the constitution. That was the major challenge for country. So any systematic collection of rule designed to govern a country's ring, that is what we say is the constitution. So that was the first question. Second was to put an end to sovereignty of British Empire on the princely state, as on that particular point of time in India we were having 562 princely states. How many princely states we were having? 562. So what was the second question? What was the second challenge that we have to solve it? That is to put an end to the sovereignty of British Empire on the princely state and merge them into the, at that time of intact India. So at the time there were 562 princely states. Must be underlined. How many princely states we were having? 562, and that is the proportion of 48% princely state has taken in the total area of India. We are talking about 1947. So how many princely state was there? 562, and that covers the total area of India, that is a 48%, and 20% of India's population reside in this princely state. In this 562, total population of India, 20% of total population was residing in this princely state. Even now see Kashmir, Hyderabad, Mysore, they were the big states and other were the small states. There were states which were too small and were at the village in the form. It was a mammoth task. Now you know what is a mammoth. Can anyone tell me? What is a mammoth? Anyone? The new word came. What is a mammoth? It is called the mammoth task. Which animal you remember? It's look like an elephant which is having a big trunk and the teeth. So it was a huge task. Mammoth task means a huge task, challengeable task, a huge one. Huge task was there to solve this two type of question, that to resolve, to frame the constitution and to put an end to the sovereignty of the British Empire and on the princely state. That was the mammoth task that what has to be resolved. So after getting the independence, Maharaja Shri Krishna Kumar Ji, that is the king of Bhavnagar. So please underline, after gaining independence, Maharaja of Bhavnagar, Krishna Kumar Ji was the first king. It's proud for all Bhavnagaris. So Maharaja Krishna Kumar Ji was the first king to start responsible government 15 January 1948. Please mention and underline 15th Jan 1948. 15 January 1948. So Bhavnagar state was emerged with United Saurashtra with this Bhavnagar, Rajkot, Junagadh, we consider are like this region is known as the Saurashtra region. So now it's become the part of United Saurashtra state, which was created due to the efforts of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. That is on the 15th February 1948, and the event of formation. Now see the importance of this event. The event of formation of United Saurashtra state was described by Jawaharlal Nehru as the most notable merger in contemporary history. Please underline 1 mark question. Who mentioned or who described that the merger of Bhavnagar it is as the most notable merger in the contemporary history. So Jawaharlal Nehru, why he said, for what reason he said, of the merger of the Bhavnagar state into the United Saurashtra state. Now, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel appealed to the kings and Nawab of the princely state. When Maharaja Krishna Kumar Ji gave his state, so even Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel appealed to other rulers also. So Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel appealed to the king and Nawab of the princely states that they should voluntarily forest their respective states in the interest of their subjects and the union of India. Now that was the time that everyone, even today, we have to think for our country, irrespective of any caste, creed. Our identity must be that we are an Indian. So here Sardar Patel suggests that everyone should think on this. So kings, Rajwadas, Nawabs contributed in the making of strong, integrated and prosperous India. Sardar Patel assured them to protect. Now see, think, when any ruler is giving up his all properties, all powers to nation, even government gave the assurance that the government will take care of their rights and for their families also. So Sardar Patel assured them to protect their right and interest also. So Sardar Patel and his secretary of the Home Department, Mr. V.P. Menon, prepared the draft for attachment bond. V.P. Menon, please underline. He was the secretary of the Home Department, as Sardar Patel was the Home Minister of country. So please underline V.P. Menon, very important name that you have to remember. So Sardar Patel and his secretary of the Home Department, Mr. V.P. Menon, prepared the draft for attachment bond and were attachment bond and status of quo agreement. Concerned minister and joined the committee of kings gives the final shape to this. All the ruler now agreed. And kings were happy to be the draft except the Kashmir, Hyderabad, Junagadh. Now out of 562, 559 agreed to join the united country. So 559 princely state accept the instrument of accession of the joint to the Union India. Now with the help of and Sardar Patel makes wonderful effort that out of 562 rulers, 559 they gave their consent, they agreed to be the part of united country. But the three states, that is Hyderabad, Junagadh and Kashmir, ruler from the Hyderabad, Junagadh and Kashmir, they refused to be the part of this country. Now what was the plan, what was the situation? Let's talk one by one. So merger of Hyderabad, Junagadh and Kashmir. Why Sardar Patel is one of the important leader, but why we have to consider him as a founder of this country? What a wonderful effort he made. Let's talk on that. See, Hyderabad, it is in the south of India, we all know. So Nizam of Hyderabad, with its state from the southern part of India, declared its independence on 15th of August. Okay. So as per its geographical location, it was bound to join the India. As it is a southern state, southern part in the peninsula. So, whether they like or not, they have to be the part of our country. It was bound to join the India, but the fact was brought to their notice that the Hyderabad won't be able to remain as an independent state as it is surrounded by the Indian territory. Now they said that they want to be free. They don't want to join India, but it is next to impossible that it is surrounded by the Indian territory. So the Nizam clarified that the matter by saying that in case of country is divided, then owing the geographical reason, they would not be able to join Pakistan and they would not be able to join India owing to ideological reason. Now what excuse the Nizam gave? That due to the geographical situation, they don't want to join, they can't join the Pakistan. And ideology, as Nizam was a follower of Islam, and he wants to join the Pakistan. So in both the condition, it is next to impossible to join with the Pakistan. So Pakistan and they would not be able to join India owing the ideological reason. So under such a circumstances, they would prefer to remain independent. So what is the reason what they said why they want to become the independent? As due to the ideological changes, they do not agree to be within the part of the India. So they want to join Pakistan, but their geographical situation is not allow them to join the India. So they want to be independent. So they would prefer to remain independent. Negotiations began with the Nizam. Now the role comes of Sardar Patel. So Sardar Patel bluntly stated to the negotiator of Nizam that the people of Hyderabad are eager to be with the Union of India. Now Sardar Patel was having the wonderful attitude and mental power. So he said very bluntly to the negotiator, those who is negotiating behalf of the Nizam, that your citizen, the citizen of the Hyderabad wants to be the part of the Indian state. They like to be the, consider themselves as an Indian. So Sardar Patel bluntly stated to the negotiator of the Nizam that the people of Hyderabad are eager to be with the Union of India. Meanwhile, the Nizam officers started committing atrocities on the people of Hyderabad. In anyhow, they tried that they can be the independent. So ultimately, Hyderabad was merged with the Union of India by using police force. Now forcefully Sardar Patel did this. On 18th September 1948, for Hyderabad, 18th September 1948. This date you have to remember. So, on 18th September 1948, Sardar Patel assured the Nizam, even Sardar Patel assured to Nizam that he will protect his interest. So, Patel assured the Nizam to protect all their interest. Now here another name, Kanayalal Munshi played a very crucial role. Kanayalal Munshi played a very crucial role in the entire episode. See, it like the story or drama was going on at that time. And Sardar Patel, he was the leader of this all. And Kanayalal Munshi, VP Menon and all were the supporter. And they performed a wonderful role of that time. So after the reforming of state, the state of Hyderabad was later included in the Andhra Pradesh. Now it is a capital. So this was the story of Hyderabad, how it's merged in our country. So in this Hyderabad, you have to first important the date, Kanayalal Munshi and Sardar Patel. This point you have to remember. Now, after south of India, let's come back to our Gujarat as Junagadh. Wonderful place, Junagadh. Old place, ancient place. So let's talk about the Junagadh. As Junagadh, also we were facing a problem regarding the Junagadh. So on the day of independence, that is the 15th of August, the Nawab of Junagadh wrote an instrument of accession to join the Pakistan. Now in Junagadh, the Nawab of Junagadh, that was the Babi Nawab, he wrote a letter to the Pakistani government that they want to join the Pakistan. Pakistan in turn obviously gave them consent. Pakistan was ready. So Sardar Patel decided to take a countermeasure against this. Now again, geographically, if you see, if we come across with this map of India, first we talk about the Hyderabad. Now we are talking about the Junagadh. And Pakistan, obviously we know it is here. So how it is possible that Junagadh can merge with Pakistan? It is not possible at all. Okay. So Sardar Patel took the initiative. So in turn gave them, so Sardar Patel decided to take a consent measure against this. So people of Junagadh living in Mumbai must be underlined. Please make it underline. Very important. So in Junagadh living in Mumbai established Arzi Hukumat. Arzi Hukumat in Mumbai. During this time, Sheikh of Mangrol and Manavadar declared their wish to join the Union of India. Now in Junagadh, nearby two cities or places, Manavadar, the Sheikh of Manavadar and Mangrol, they gave their consent, then they want to be with the India. So during this time, the Sheikh of Mangrol and Manavadar declared their wish to join the Union of India. An Indian soldier and navy who were positioned to protect Manavadar and Mangrol visit the Junagadh state. So the Nawab of Junagadh fled in the Pakistan. On 9th November 1947, referendum of the people of Junagadh was taken. So here, which date you have to keep in mind? 9th November 1947. So 9th of November 1947, referendum of the people of Junagadh was taken. Thus, Junagadh's merger with the Union of India was made possible owing to Sardar Patel guts, tremendous willpower, and people of Junagadh. So, for Junagadh, you have to keep in mind, see, for this all three problem, we will keep in mind Sardar Patel. Okay? The person who is actually, we can say, the founder of this wonderful country, this what we consider now as an India. If I can say, if Hyderabad, Junagadh and Kashmir is now the part of country because of this Iron Man. So for Junagadh you have to remember 9th November 1947 and another word, Arzi Hukumat. This two word, Arzi Hukumat, Arzi Hukumat, and 9th November 1947. What is Arzi Hukumat? The people of Junagadh, those who are living in the Mumbai. So the people of Junagadh living in Mumbai established the Arzi Hukumat in Mumbai. Okay, not in Junagadh but in Mumbai. So this point for Junagadh issue you have to keep in mind. For Hyderabad, you have to remember this date, 18 September 1948. For Junagadh, Arzi Hukumat, and you have to remember 9th of November 1947. Now, how can we forget the heaven on the earth? Pride of India, head of India, Mastak, head of country. Heaven on the earth, and still we are facing this issue of Jammu and Kashmir till date. So at that time, what problem arose at that time? how it becomes the part of our this country, the nation. Now this is an integral part of our country, but what was the problem arose at that time? So let's talk on the Kashmir. So in other words, you can say that the Hyderabad is gift from Patel, Junagadh also, and the Kashmir is also gift of Sardar Patel. The issue of Kashmir was the most complicated. Even today, we are having the problem, issues we are facing. Raja Hari Singh. So, in Kashmir, for Kashmir issue, which point you will going to remember name of the king, that is Raja Hari Singh. This name must remember Raja Hari Singh, as it was the most crucial. So Raja Hari Singh of Kashmir was indecisive. Meanwhile, Pakistan attacked the Kashmir. Actually, Raja Hari Singh, he stated that they want to be independent. So they have not joined India or Pakistan. But meanwhile, Pakistan attacked on Kashmir. Now, when Pakistan attacked the Kashmir, Raja Hari Singh requested for military assistance to protect Jammu and Kashmir against Pakistani attack. Now, Raja Hari Singh requests Indian government to help them as Pakistan military attack to Jammu and Kashmir territory. We are talking about the 1947, when Pakistan was established as a nation, when we were as a India. And this Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir state, they were independent. At that time, Pakistani army attacked the Jammu and Kashmir. And the king of Jammu and Kashmir, Raja Hari Singh, asked the help, assistance from the Indian government or from the Indian military. Now, the government of India insists the Raja Hari Singh should first sign instrument of the accession and then the Indian army could be sent. Now see, this is the wonderful idea was done by the Sardar Patel. He said, first you have to sign the treaty, sign that you will be the part of India. You means Jammu and Kashmir. So here Raja Hari Singh signed that the Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. So what Sardar Patel insists at that time, that Raja Hari Singh should first sign the instrument of accession and then the Indian army could be sent. One of the clauses in the instrument of accession was that after restoration of normal situation in Kashmir, plebiscite would be held for the permanent merger with the India. So here Sardar Patel said that when we settle the situation as Pakistani army entered to Jammu and Kashmir and few of the part is under the control of Pakistani army. So Sardar Patel said when the situation will be settled down nicely, when India will recapture the entire part and Jammu and Kashmir will be the integral part of the country. Immediately after the signing the letter, the Indian army protect the Kashmir, but Pakistan had already occupied 1/3 portion of Kashmir by that time. But at that time, 1/3 part of Jammu and Kashmir, which was occupied by the Pakistani, that what you say is the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. That what we say is the POC, Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So 1/3 part was already occupied or captured by the Pakistani army. So, but the rest of the Kashmir is now with India. So 1/3 portion of Kashmir by that time was captured by the Pakistani army. But the rest of the Kashmir was saved. India has registered a complaint against Pakistan in the Security Council of the United Nations. India filed the complaint as Jammu and Kashmir is the integral part of the India, as Raja Hari Singh signed that. So India filed a complaint in Security Council in United Nations regarding this matter. The Security Council suggested for ceasefire. Ceasefire. Security Council gave the order for the ceasefire. Be where you are. जो जहाँ है, जो army जहाँ है, वहाँ पे रुक जाओ. So ceasefire, even today, Kashmir issue is continuous issue in the relation between India and Pakistan. Even today, we are having the same debates, same conflicts. In the way towards the end of 1948, political unity of India was established by various historical and non-violence movement. So here, no violence was there. But the three important places was merged in United India. First is Hyderabad, second is Junagadh and Kashmir. So here few points for Kashmir you have to keep in mind, that is a 1/3 part of Jammu and Kashmir is captured by Pakistan. For Hyderabad, again I am repeating you that this date 18th September 1948, remember 9th of November for Junagadh and Arzi Hukumat, Mumbai. This point you have to keep in mind. And for Jammu and Kashmir, Raja Hari Singh, that is a Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and 1/3 territory is captured by the Pakistan. These few points you have to remember. Now we have to talk. Yes, here we talk about the three places, that is the Junagadh. One is in the South India, West India and the North India. Now we have to, even the few places like the Diu, Daman, Goa, Puducherry was under into the with other foreigners like the French and the Portuguese. As starting of the lecture I told you, number of foreigners they came to our country. French, Dutches, Portuguese and the Britisher. So merger of French and Portuguese colonies like Diu, Daman, Goa and Puducherry. So we have to talk on that. This all are the union territories. Students, if you remember, when a few days back when we were discussing this point in the class, even I have explained you how, why, what is the differentiate between the state and UTs, union territories. What is so special about the union territories? Which place we consider as a union territory? So this I have explained you. So now we will going to talk about the merger of French and Portuguese colony. So we will focus now on the French Portuguese colonies. That was captured or controlled by the Portuguese or the French government. See, India emerged as an independent and sovereign state on the 26th January 1950. But the certain colonies, few places were controlled by the Portuguese and the French government. That colonies were French and the Portuguese rules were still under their control. So Union of Indian appealed the French controlled Puducherry and Portuguese controlled Diu, Daman and Goa to merge with India. Now government of India, Indian government requests to the French and the Portuguese government that they should free Diu, Daman and Goa and Puducherry. People of these colonies wanted to desperately to join the Union of India. The citizen from the Diu, Daman, Goa, Portuguese, they want to be the part of India. Okay. They started vigorous movements for the purpose. The French tried to suppress this freedom movement. Now, French tried to suppress this freedom movement in Mammoth meeting organized at the Puducherry. People gave the French government the Hind Chodo. Must be underlined again. When we talk about the British era, even that movement we have talked, Hind Chodo Andolan. So this is something different. So Hind Chodo, Leave India slogan, the Indian government started negotiation for peaceful solution of the Puducherry issue with the French government. As we believe in the non-violence, so we did the same. But People were not satisfied with that. In Myanmar, People's Liberation Army must underline. Yanam, People's Liberation Army, underline, please underline it, focus here. In Yanam, People Liberation Army had taken over the administration in the hand on June 13, 1954. Important date, 13th June 1953. 13 June 1953, sorry, 54. 1954, the French government released people rage and was compelled to start negotiation with the Indian government. All the French colonies, Karaikal, Mahe, Yanam and Chandranagar were handed over to India for further reconstruction. October 31, 1945. 31st October 1954. Now again India citizen did on the non-violence, they opposed the French government and ultimately we captured the Puducherry on 31st October 1954. With the reconstruction of India state, Puducherry had a Karaikal in Tamil Nadu, Mahe in Kerala, Yanam in Andhra Pradesh and Chandranagar in West Bengal. Please underline the state and the places. Again, Puducherry had Karaikal in Tamil Nadu, Mahe in Kerala, Yanam in Andhra Pradesh and Chandranagar in West Bengal. Puducherry is the administrative center of all the territories. Now Puducherry is UT and it was a state. Now then comes the merge of Diu, Daman and Goa. The popular place Diu and Daman in Gujarat, but it's a union territory. So let's talk on the Diu, Daman and Goa. So 15th August 1947, political leader and satyagrahis entered the Diu, Daman and Goa. In free Goa agitation, thousands of volunteers died. They tried to free the Goa from the Portuguese and thousands of people died. As an attempt such as negotiation, Parisians and the Satyagraha proved to be unsuccessful. In Indian government decide to begin Operation Vijay, must underline. Operation Vijay. क्या है ये ऑपरेशन विजय? Started by Indian government to free Goa. So, Operation Vijay to liberate the Goa, Indian army captured the Goa, Daman and Diu and hoisted the Indian flag there. Thus, the last remain of the merger with the Union India, the states were known as the Union Territory. So the last remain of the Western ruler disappeared from the India on 12th March 1962. Which date you will remember? 12th March 1962. See, we are talking about mergers. We got independence in 1947 and last merger was done in 1962. So, on 12th March 1962, Goa, Dadra Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu were merged with the Union of India. The states were known as the Union Territories. On 30th May 1987, Daman and Diu were separated from the Goa. Now this date also you have to remember. That is 30th May. 30th May 1987. This also you have to remember, 30th May 1987. Daman and Diu were separated from the Goa. Thereafter, Silvas was made the capital of Dadra Nagar. Please underline. Silvas was made the capital of Dadra Nagar Haveli. Daman was made the capital of Diu. Silvasa of Dadra Nagar Haveli. Daman for the Diu. And Panji made the capital of Goa. Panji is the capital of Goa. Daman is the capital of Diu. And Silvasa was made the capital of Dadra Nagar. Okay. So, what is the conclusion what we have discussed? As I said, we are talking about the mergers. Which places we discuss? We talk about the Hyderabad. We talk about the Junagadh, Kashmir, Goa, Daman Diu, Dadra Nagar, Haveli and Puducherry. So this all places like we merge. Ultimately in 1962, the country, now what we know that this all places are integral part of our country. It's merged at the end of the 1961. So in 1962, actually the merger completed. So in next lecture, we will going to talk about the formation and reorganization of Indian states. Another point, the problem that actually what we will going to talk is regionalisms, languages and the caste and the religion and the regional inequality. Number of problem what we will going to discuss further. Few homework. Let's monotonous homework से कुछ अलग. As we talk about two important dignitaries, so I wish that work should be informative. In our special book, what you are preparing for your social, a special book in what you are preparing your notes and everything. Yes, in that I want, we will going to write about, this is your homework actually. Write information, paste a picture, don't forget it to do it. Even you can do it or you can draw it also. Write information on Sardar Patel and Maharaja Krishna Kumar Ji and Sardar Patel. Student, this is very important. Don't think that what is the usefulness of this. Sardar Patel, the life of Sardar Patel is wonderful. Still, see, you all are at home. I suggest you that please read the life of Sardar Patel. He was also the barrister, renowned barrister. And how can we forget Maharaja Krishna Kumar Ji, as we all are from Bhavnagar, and it's a proud that we are this from Bhavnagar. So about the life of Maharaja Krishna Kumar Ji, you must remember and mention in our special book in any beautiful manner. It should be something informative. See, information you have to write. So your work should be in the informative way. So this is the work that what you have to do for your homework purpose. It is an interesting task what I am giving. What I have gave right now, it's an interesting task. It's not a monotonous. So you will enjoy also. So Sardar Patel and Maharaja Krishna Kumar Ji, on them you have to make a beautiful note. Come up with some beautiful idea and in next lecture we will going to continue. So here I am ending this lecture. Thank you and Jai Hind.